My husband Daniel's childhood sweetheart, Ivy, moved into our house. Ivy constantly tried to push me out, and Martha's every word was a jab, mocking me as a barren woman. Later, Daniel slapped Ivy's pregnancy report on the table. Ivy's pregnant with my child. Get out of our house, now. On the day of the divorce, I took everything, except his infertility test report. Ivy, dressed in a black dress, walked into Daniel's and my bedroom and innocently blinked at me. Grace, there's just one question I'm unsure about. I wanted to talk it over with Daniel. You don't mind, do you? Talk about a question? What kind of question requires you to dress like that? I scowled, scrutinizing Ivy from head to toe. Just as I was about to speak, Martha walked out of the kitchen, positioned herself between Ivy and me, and shoved a spatula into my hand. Grace, what are you doing? Ivy has class tomorrow. If you make her late, can you take responsibility? Ivy works hard in class, and Daniel's tired from work too. Hurry up and make them some chicken soup to nourish them. I paused, then hesitantly began, but isn't it inappropriate for Ivy to be dressed like that? She's a young woman, alone together in a bedroom with him. At my words, Ivy's eyes immediately reddened. She bit her lower lip, looking as if she'd suffered some immense injustice. Grace, Daniel has always thought you were a particularly considerate and understanding woman, but how could you say such a thing about me? Daniel and I have done nothing untoward. I just wanted to ask him about a complicated English question. Seeing about to cry, Martha gritted her teeth and, with a furious expression, shoved me towards the kitchen. That's enough, Grace, did you hear? Ivy just wants to ask Daniel an English question. Stop making a scene. Ivy is innocent. After pushing me into the kitchen, Martha went to comfort Ivy, patting her shoulder and speaking softly. Ivy, don't listen to Grace. She's upset because of her inability to conceive. Eve, so she's annoyed with everyone. Just go talk to Daniel about your question, sweetie. Don't let her bother you. With that, Martha shot me a warning look. My heart instantly filled with a mix of anger and helplessness. Ever since I married Daniel, I had endured a great deal of hardship in Daniel's family. Because I hadn't conceived a child in 2 years of marriage, Martha grew increasingly resentful, constantly bringing up my inability to conceive and even complaining to her circle of friends about me. But he would only look at me with reproach, blaming me for arguing with an older woman like Martha, calling me immature. 6 months ago, Daniel's childhood sweetheart, Ivy, suddenly moved into Daniel's family home, finding every excuse to get close to him. They started sharing drinks and food, even accidentally walking into the wrong room after getting drunk. Daniel never commented on any of these coincidences, simply accepting them with pleasure. I suddenly began to regret it. In elementary school, I was short and chubby, often bullied and ridiculed by my classmates. It was Daniel who saved me, shielding me firmly behind him. Years later, I reconnected with Daniel in college. I recognized him immediately and relentlessly pursued him for 6 months. The reason was simple. He was handsome, and he had helped me when I was little. It was because Daniel had this savior complex aura about him that I endured silently in Daniel's family, suppressing my true nature and tirelessly served them all. But now I regretted it deeply, suddenly feeling incredibly foolish. My mind was becoming increasingly chaotic. I saw Martha go to the living room to watch TV, so I walked out of the kitchen, wanting to see what Ivy and Daniel were doing in the bedroom. Standing at the bedroom door, I heard voices from inside the room. Daniel, what if Grace finds out what we're doing? Will she be angry? Shoo, Ivy, don't mention her. It's a buzzkill. Boom. My mind felt like it had exploded. Dead, and the string called reason snapped completely. I gritted my teeth, trembling with rage, wishing I could tear apart the cheaters inside the room right then and there. I was in the kitchen making them soup, and they were doing this in the room. I was done being a devoted homemaker. I was going to unleash all the grievances I'd held for the past 2 years, right now. I tried to push the door open, but Ivy had locked it beforehand, so I could only kick at it like a madwoman. Ivy, Daniel, get out here, both of you. In that moment, I had no other thoughts. I just wanted to pin them both to the ground, beat them senseless, and make them kneel and apologize to me. Martha, hearing the commotion from the living room, rushed over, quickly pulled me away, and pushed me, making me stumble. Grace, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? I gasped for breath, pointing at the bedroom door. Come on, listen. Listen to what Ivy and your precious son are doing. Before I could speak, the bedroom door clicked open. Daniel stood there, protecting the disheveled Ivy behind him, his face filled with rage as he stared at me. Grace, are you ing crazy? Look at yourself right now. What's the difference between you and a lunatic from a mental asylum? Even now, Daniel was still protecting Ivy, and he even had the nerve to question me, to call me crazy. Today, I was going to beat these two to death. I raised my fist and swung it towards Daniel's face, but he clamped down on my wrist, holding it tight. Through his glasses, Daniel's disgusted and disdainful gaze fixed on me. Grace, let's get divorced. To tell you the truth, Ivy is already 3 months pregnant with my child. Martha's eyes lit up at this. Yes, yes. Get divorced, now. Grace, you barren woman, you've wasted 2 years of my son's life. You should have divorced ages ago. Ivy demurely nestled behind Daniel. Grace, I'm sorry. It's just that Daniel is so exceptional. I accidentally got pregnant. My gay sweet point over the 3 people present, and then I let out a cold laugh. Fine, then. Let's divorce. Right now. Martha's eye rolls, Daniel's neglect, the other woman's provocation. After 2 years of marriage, I had truly had enough. After the swift divorce, I took everything with me. Except's infertility test report. When I hadn't conceived a child, I went for a checkup, but there was nothing wrong with my body. Later, I secretly arranged a test for Daniel. The truth was, Daniel was the one who was infertile. But to protect Daniel's male pride, I chose to keep it a secret. Yet, Martha and Daniel constantly used my inability to conceive against me. Out of consideration for Daniel's rescue, I had always endured silently, playing the role of a devoted homemaker at home. Back then, some middle school thugs dragged me, a 5th grader, into an alleyway, intending to do something unspeakable. Naive and ignorant, I didn't understand the implications. I just cried and screamed for help. Daniel, who happened to be passing by, saved me and reported it to the police. The school teachers gave me special protection and officially reprimanded the students who had bullied me. I held on to that debt of gratitude. If it hadn't been for Daniel, my life might have been ruined. Now, this year, that debt of gratitude was finally repaid. I blocked all contact information for Martha and Daniel. From now on, we're completely done. Whatever and Ivy do, it has nothing to do with me. And as for Daniel being willing to be Ivy's fall guy, I didn't care. After settling everything, I went to work the next day. I was a veteran contracted author at this company, and my boss, Liam, was my college classmate. As soon as I settled into my cubicle, Liam sent me a message on WhatsApp. Liam, come to my office. In the office, Liam, dressed in casual clothes, sat with his legs crossed behind his computer desk, propping his chin in his hand, staring intently at me. Divorced? Liam furrowed his brow, probably trying to figure out how to comfort me. Daniel isn't a good person, he wasn't right for you. Try to see the brighter side, maybe divorce is a good thing? I nodded. Martha and Daniel never approved of me anyway, so there's no need for me to make a fool of myself. My feelings for Daniel are gone. From now on, he and I have no connection whatsoever. Martha preferred the pure and pretty Ivy because Ivy was a high school English teacher and a minor social media influencer. She liked to record videos during class and post them on TikTok. Her sweet voice, pure looks, and good figure attracted a large number of followers. Her fans liked to call her the ideal teacher. Seeing that I was taking it well, Liam's lips curved slightly upwards. He searched for a video of Ivy teaching on his phone. Then, right in front of me, Liam reported Ivy's video, citing vulgarity. I couldn't help but give Liam a thumbs up. Well played. Liam put away his phone, his eyes sparkling as he looked at me. Grace, how about we grab dinner after work? My heart stirred slightly. I suddenly remembered that Liam and I hadn't eaten together in a very long time. When we were in college, Liam and I were inseparable. We ate half our meals together. But ever since I got together with Daniel, I started playing the role of a gentle, virtuous devoted homemaker, keeping my distance from other men, and naturally, I grew apart from Liam. Now I was free from misery, and Daniel would no longer influence me. My eyes crinkled with a smile. Sounds good. I naturally had a lively and confident personality and appearance. In college, my hair was always in voluminous curls, and it was the brightest color. But after I married Daniel 2 years ago, I straightened my hair, dyed it back to black, and usually just used a hair tie to put it in a low ponytail. And now, I couldn't wait to perm my hair back into curls and dye it blue-black. After work, Liam drove me to a restaurant we used to frequent and call. Gee, perhaps our attractive couple's presence was too eye-catching, as it drew the attention of Daniel and Ivy, who were also dining in the restaurant's main hall. Daniel stared at me, his gaze filled with shock and disbelief. You, Grace? Ivy's face looked utterly disgusted, but in front of Daniel, she had to maintain her sweet and innocent facade. Ivy linked her arm through Daniel's and walked up to me, blinking innocently. Grace, what a coincidence. You're here for dinner too? I frowned, immediately feeling disgusting. If I had known Ivy and Daniel were also dining at this restaurant, I would never have come here with Liam. Seeing that everyone in the restaurant was looking at us, Ivy tucked her hair behind her ear and smiled sweetly. I was just telling Daniel yesterday that I was worried Grace's career might be affected by the divorce, but seeing Grace move on so quickly, I'm relieved. But Grace, are you already dating this gentleman? That's quite fast. You and Daniel just divorced. Congratulations, Grace. What passive-aggressive words. I could almost hear the whispers from passers-by, all speculating if I had had an affair and cheated on Daniel. What a manipulative and deceitful woman, twisting the truth. Daniel and I were already divorced, and she still wanted to stir up trouble for me. I retorted without hesitation, oh really? That's great then. Daniel and I have been divorced for less than a week, and you're already 3 months pregnant. I should be congratulating you too. As soon as I said that, Ivy's face turned ashen and ugly. Her clear, large eyes welled up with tears, and she looked at me pitifully. Grace, how could you? Seeing his beloved cry, Daniel exploded with rage. He immediately pulled Ivy into a hug, glaring at me with disgust. Grace, you're absolutely sickening. Ivy was kind enough to wish you well, how could you publicly slander her? I was so angry I laughed. I tilted my head, staring intently at Ivy's stomach. Oh? Did I say? Why something wrong? Isn't Ivy pregnant? So, can I kick her in the stomach, then? At that, Ivy cried even harder, her petite body trembling with sobs. Daniel could no longer stand it. He carefully settled Ivy onto a chair, then turned around and stared coldly at me. Grace, what exactly do you want? Why do you constantly target Ivy? It's clearly your fault for not being able to conceive, so why are you making things difficult for Ivy? Ivy is innocent. Honestly, I was so foolish. After knowing Daniel for so many years, only now did I realize he could be so shameless. He was the one who cheated, he was the one who forced me to divorce, and now he was the one calling me relentless. In that case, he really shouldn't blame me for being impolite. I raised an eyebrow slightly, then delivered the astonishingly good news. Daniel, when you get home, check the very bottom drawer of your nightstand. There's something good in there. Make sure you look at it. After saying that, I no longer paid attention to Daniel and Ivy. I simply left with Liam without hesitation, leaving them with a carefree and confident departure. Liam didn't look for another restaurant. Instead, he took me to his place for hot pot. Remember how we used to ditch class and go out to eat all the time when we were in school? Mentioning that memory, I couldn't help but chuckle. When we first started college, Liam and I didn't really care much about credits. If we had an obscure class, we'd secretly ditch it and go out to eat. We thought teachers of unpopular courses wouldn't take attendance. The consequence was that our names were reported to our advisor, who then severely reprimanded us. Liam asked me what I planned to do next. I smiled slyly. I'd do it again. We were truly professional class ditchers for food. As I ate the beef on my plate, I recalled old memories, sighing deeply. Ugh, I was completely blind. I never should have chased after Daniel like that. I should have spent that time having more meal with my buddy instead. Liam's eyes held a hint of resentment. You're only realizing that now? The meal lasted quite a while. I couldn't resist having 2 bottles, and as I drank, I wrapped my arm around Liam's shoulder, reminiscing about the old days with him. Liam was no less enthusiastic, even suggesting that I live with him from now on. Kick. How about this, Grace? You can come live with me. We're inseparable. I definitely won't bully you. Hick. We can eat together every day, right? Due to the alcohol, my mind was hazy. I kicked Liam's leg. Get lost, you. That night, I slept on the sofa, and so did Liam. The reason was simple. He wanted to give me the bed, and I wanted to give him the bed. So we ended up fighting over the sofa, which resulted in both of us sleeping on it. The next morning, my TikTok was swarmed. I was woken up by the incessant dinging of TikTok notifications. I groggily opened my eyes, squinting as I launched TikTok. Cheerful, ugh, you cheater, you're truly disgusting. Han of China, why are you so bitter? Just jealous because Ivy is prettier than you, right? Acid girl out of China, disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. I hope your whole family dies. I was completely confused until I saw a video link sent to me by Acid Girl. The woman in the video was Ivy. Ivy was wearing a hospital gown, her hair disheveled, her eyes red and swollen as she stared at the screen. Grace, I know you resent me, but that's no reason for you to have an affair. And it's no reason for you to be slandering me. The video's main content was Ivy accusing me of having an affair, sleeping with my boss Liam, and cuckolding Daniel. After the divorce, driven by jealousy that Ivy could have children, I even went as far as slandering Daniel's fertility, attempting to drive a wedge between Ivy and Daniel. That really cracked me up. Ivy even accidentally tagged my TikTok account, then deleted it 30 minutes later. That's how my TikTok got swarmed by netizens. What a confused, clumsy beauty she was. I quietly drafted a TikTok post and uploaded it. I did not have an affair, have no hidden illnesses, and have a normal relationship with my boss. My divorce was finalized just 1 week ago. A certain Ivy is 3 months pregnant. After posting on TikTok, I turned off notifications for TikTok messages. It was then that I noticed I had hundreds of unread text messages and missed calls on my phone. Ivy had accidentally leaked my phone number, and these texts were all from netizens, cursing me. Among them were even a few from my ex Martha and Daniel. Ex Martha, you wretch, you have a venomous heart. It's bad enough you can't have children, and you ruined my son's life for 2 years, but now you're slandering him? You deserve to die. Daniel, Grace, are you satisfied now? You're too well known now, and it's all your own fault. If you hadn't deliberately made things difficult for Ivy, none of this would have happened. Let this be a lesson to you. If you dare to slander me again, Ivy, and I won't be so polite. 6. I guessed that when Ivy saw Daniel's infertility test report last night, she must have been terrified. The child in her womb was 100% not Daniel's, so she went to great lengths to excuse herself, trying to divert Daniel's attention. So, Ivy smeared my name, claiming that infertility test report was photoshopped by me, and then posted a video exposing me. Liam woke up too. After understanding the whole situation, he took my phone and set up a spam filter for my number. Liam patted my head and gave me some reassurance. It's alright, Grace, don't worry. I'll definitely handle this for you. As I looked at Ivy in the TikTok video, dressed in a tight uniform and provocatively posing for the camera during class, an idea suddenly sparked in my mind. Liam, do you think, since Ivy dares to wear clothes like that during class, could someone at the school be protecting her? A school is a respected institution. No school would allow a teacher to dress like that for class. But what if Ivy's behavior was permitted by the school's administration? Liam's eyes narrowed slightly, and he nodded. Alright, I understand. I'll look into it. As it turned out, my suspicion was correct. The person behind Ivy was Arthur. Arthur was a pot-bellied man in his 50s who looked very respectable, making it impossible to tell that he was someone who would keep the other woman. But he definitely was keeping Ivy, and the child in Ivy's womb might even be his. As the owner of a large company, Liam naturally had the ability to enter a school and observe a class. Liam and I were invited as guests by Northwood to attend a class in the junior class. Liam and I, covered up with face masks and sunglasses, sat in the very back row. Arthur and a few directors sat nearby as well. Mr. Liam, our junior class is the best performing junior class. Look, that boy in the first row is Noah, he's top of the class. The most outstanding is the junior class's English teacher, Ivy. You've heard of Ivy, right? She's an influencer teacher on TikTok, and her teaching quality is excellent. Her class is next, actually. Liam nodded, shaking Arthur's hand. Yes, I often see Ivy on TikTok. I had no idea she was a teacher at Northwood. Seeing his little mistress so popular, Arthur beamed from ear to ear. Ha ha ha, then Mr. Liam should definitely listen carefully to her class. Of course, of course. The corner of my mouth, hidden by my face mask, curved upwards. Laugh all you want. You won't be laughing in a moment. About 5 minutes later, the class bell rang. Students tidied their textbooks on their desks and sat upright, waiting for Ivy's arrival. Ivy clacked into the classroom in stilettos, acknowledging us with a nod. She wore exquisite makeup and a tight white blouse. It seemed she was quite smart, knowing that today wasn't the day to wear those clothes. Hello, Mr. Liam. I'm Ivy, the English teacher for the junior class. Alright. Students, let's begin. Ivy turned off her phone, then opened her textbook and began explaining problems to the students. I quietly opened a TikTok livestream, pointing my camera at Ivy. Livestream title, XX Company Employee Attends Class at Northwood. I don't know if it was my imagination, but I kept seeing Ivy's eyes accidentally glance at Liam, blinking innocently. Arthur probably saw it too, and the expression on his face gradually darkened. Liam, with a faint smile on his face, spoke at the right moment. Ivy's teaching is indeed excellent. It makes me feel like I'm back in my student days. Arthur forced a smile. That's good, that's good. Good times always seem to be short-lived. Less than 10 minutes into the classroom door was kicked open violently. Along with it came a sharp roar, "Ivy, you wretch, get out here." A plump woman, heavily adorned with jewelry, stormed into the classroom. To disbelief, she fiercely grabbed Ivy's hair and swung her hand, delivering 2 loud, hard slaps to her face. "I'll kill you today if you dared to steal my husband, you shameless bitch. I'm not myself if I don't." Ivy was dazed by Patricia's hard slaps. She lost her footing for a moment, twisted her ankle in her stilettos, and fell flat on her face. Patricia, still not satisfied, grabbed Ivy by the collar, pulled her up, and landed a few more hard slaps on her face. The clothes, perhaps of poor quality, ripped open. Only then did Ivy react, letting out a terrified scream. I watched all of this with a smile, glancing at the live chat comments. Cheerful, "Ah, disgusting hag, let go of my Ivy. So heartbroken." Ivy's crying, "Ah, so heartbroken." Because I had been swarmed on TikTok, I had quite a few followers. As soon as I started the live stream, thousands of people poured into the chat. The live stream of the class continued for 10 minutes, and the number of viewers grew. Within the minute Patricia burst in and started beating Ivy, the live stream audience surged to over 10,000. Arthur, sitting beside us, looked utterly terrified, frozen in his seat. To put it simply, he didn't dare to utter a word. The students also stirred, and a few in the front row quietly gave up their seats, not daring to intervene. "Are you crazy? Let go of me." Ivy used all her strength, kicked Patricia to the ground, and then, abandoning all self-consciousness, started pulling Patricia's hair. Having been inexplicably beaten, Ivy lost her cool. The string of reason in her mind snapped, and at that moment, she didn't care about her image, she just wanted revenge for being hit. Patricia screamed, hunching over and kicking Ivy in the stomach. "You bitch, don't think I don't know. You seduced my husband, and the kid in your belly is his." At words, Ivy froze. Taking advantage of Ivy's stunned moment, Patricia rolled over and continued hitting her. The few directors who came to their senses reported it to the police and stepped forward to break up the fight. "Ma'am, stop hitting her. Someone's going to die if this continues. Stop quickly." "Have the police been called? Why aren't they here yet?" "Arthur, what are you doing? Your wife is going to beat Ivy to death." Arthur shakily stood up from his seat and went to grab Patricia's arm. Honey, stop hitting her." Patricia glared, delivering a merciless hard slap to Arthur's face. "You heartless, vile man. What makes that wretch better than me? I bore you 2 children, and this is how you repay me?" "Arthur, honey, I was wrong." Patricia kicked Ivy, who lay there like a dead dog, to the side. She pointed at Arthur, her eyes full of resentment. "I didn't mind that your family was poor. I almost got kicked out by my parents to marry you. Did you forget I nearly died in childbirth with our daughter? You ate my food, wore my clothes, and I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to treat your father's illness. Have you forgotten all that? Now that you're well off, this is how you are. Pay me." At this point, the situation was crystal clear. Arthur was a social climber. When he was young, he latched onto Patricia, a wealthy woman, and after much struggle, he finally got the position of Arthur. Then he started an affair with the young and pretty Ivy. Patricia, truly unfortunate. At this moment, the live chat was full of question marks. Cheerful? What's going on? So what this fat woman is saying is true? I don't think. It's fake. I've always felt Ivy was a bit inappropriate. Would a reputable school allow a teacher to act like this? Arthur plopped to his knees, clinging to Patricia's leg and weeping. "Honey, I was wrong. I'll never dare to do it again. I was completely blind. Ivy seduced me. I truly love you. For the sake of our 2 children, please forgive me." Patricia violently shook him off. "Get out." She spat at Ivy, who couldn't get up, then picked up her bag and left. Ivy clutched her stomach, looking to Arthur for help. "Arthur, my stomach hurts so much." Arthur gritted his teeth and kicked her away. "Get up. What does your stomach ache have to do with me? The kid in your belly has nothing to do with me, so don't even think about blaming me." With that, Arthur followed Patricia out the door. Ivy stared blankly at Arthur's retreating back. After scene, coupled with my perfectly timed TikTok livestream, Ivy, the ideal beautiful teacher, went viral again. In high spirits, I treated Liam to a meal at the largest restaurant in the city. "Liam, cheers." Liam clinked glasses with me, saying helplessly, "Do you know your smile is practically spilling off your face? I'm in a great mood today." I gave that wretch a fatal blow. Let's see if she can cause any more trouble in the future. Ivy's situation, after fermenting, had completely gone viral. My eccentric ex Martha also felt a sense of crisis and took my ex-husband Daniel for a physical examination. When the results came out, ex Martha was completely stunned. Daniel's body indeed D issues, he really was infertile. Ex Martha immediately felt faint and nearly passed out. After returning home, ex Martha grabbed Ivy's hair and threw her out of the house. "Get out. You vile woman. Cuckolding my son, living off our family, and you still want my son to be your fall guy? You're disgusting. Get out." Daniel also turned on Ivy, snatching back all the bags and jewelry he had given her, and was expelled from school, forced to slink back to her old neighborhood. Ivy, universally condemned online, still wouldn't give up. She wanted to continue down the influencer path and clear her name, so she recorded a clarification video. She claimed that everything that happened during class that day was forced upon her by me and Arthur, that she was coerced by Arthur, and that she was very innocent, blah, blah, blah. Arthur had just managed to appease Patricia and reconcile with her. Was he just going to sit there quietly and let Ivy smear his name? Arthur had lived off Patricia for so many years and had accumulated a good number of connections. He immediately found someone to permanently ban Ivy's account. Ivy blamed everything on me and harbored a complete resentment towards me. Every day, she would run around my neighborhood and near my company, openly slandering me, claiming I had an affair and was promiscuous. Unable to bear it any longer, I chose retaliation. I found a few college students, had them dress in red, hold banners, and stand downstairs from Ivy's house, making a public spectacle. The banner read, "Ivy of the Lynn family deeply loves my husband, now more than 3 months pregnant. As his true wife, I am here to publicly shame her for infidelity on his behalf." This felt like a belated sense of poetic justice. I should have made a scene like this before I divorced Daniel. Even though Daniel was no longer my husband, a sense of closure was essential. My proposal team played music downstairs from Ivy's house all day. Ivy finally couldn't take it anymore and rushed down, disheveled. "Are you insane? If you keep harassing me like this, I'm calling the police." I looked at Ivy's flat stomach, feigning surprise. Where's Arthur's baby in your belly? Why is your stomach flat? Don't worry, even if the child in your womb isn't my ex-husband's, he'll still love you with all his heart." With such a scene, people around us started pointing and whispering, and some even pulled out their phones and snapped pictures of Ivy's face. After all, Ivy had gone viral, and lately, she was everywhere you looked online. Ivy snatched a swona from one of the college students and hurled it at me with force, screaming hysterically, "Go away, go away. Stop harassing me. It was Daniel who leaked your personal information. It was Daniel who sent out your private photos, not me. If you want to find someone, go find Daniel." My eyes narrowed slightly. Private photos? Leaked? Good. Very good. I had initially thought Daniel was, at most, a fall guy kept in the dark by Ivy, but I never imagined he would do something so disgusting. If was telling the truth, then I absolutely wouldn't let Daniel get away with it. After returning home, I registered a TikTok burner account and commented under a video about Ivy, "Are there any photos of Grace?" Within minutes, a netizen replied to me, "You must be new here. Those photos of Grace have been circulating like crazy in Ivy's fan groups." I made a bit more effort and found the private photos Ivy had mentioned. In reality, the so-called private photos were just Daniel photoshopping my head onto an adult film actress's body. It was truly a despicable and disgusting tactic. Just as I was about to call the police, a call came in from Daniel. It was a number he had registered in college, one he hadn't used in a long time. I had forgotten to block it. I answered the call without thinking. "Hello?" Daniel asked cautiously from the other end of the line. "Is that Grace?" I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice as calm as possible. "Daniel, what do you want?" Daniel hesitated for a moment, then quietly asked me, "Grace, how about we get back together? Without you in this house, I suddenly feel so unaccustomed. After this incident, I've deeply realized my mistakes. Grace, I still like you. How about we remarry?" What audacity! How dare he even utter the words remarry? I scoffed, refusing him without hesitation. "Daniel, don't even think about remarrying. Don't think for a second I don't know what you did. You photoshopped my pictures onto an adult film actress, and I haven't settled that score with you yet." Daniel on the other end of the line was silent for a few seconds, probably trying to figure out how to justify himself. Grace, you've misunderstood me. You know I don't watch adult films at all. Ivy did all of this. She must have been afraid we'd remarry, so she smeared my name. Don't believe her. Listening to Daniel's hypocritical words, I felt like throwing up. Don't think I didn't know. He only came back begging because he couldn't find anyone else to marry him. The incident went viral online, and Daniel, as the cheating man who took on her baggage, also gained some notoriety. During this time, Daniel went on blind dates, but the girls recognized him immediately and refused to marry him. Daniel was truly out of options, so he swallowed his pride and came back to beg me. Unfortunately, I'm not a fool, nor do I need Daniel. Now, Daniel was nothing but a piece of trash in my eyes. One day after work, I ran into Daniel near our house. Daniel was arm in arm with a beautiful, innocent-looking girl dressed in a student uniform. As soon as he saw me, Daniel's face broke into a wide smile. He walked over to me, still arm in arm with the girl. Well, if it isn't Grace? Long time no see. Huh? I curiously eyed the girl in front of me. She was pretty and innocent, definitely the type of girl who'd be a college beauty queen. Why was she with Daniel, and even holding his arm? Seeing me continuously eyeing the girl, Daniel looked even more smug. Grace, let me introduce you. This is my girlfriend, Lily. She's a graduate student at a university. A university is one of the top universities in the country. I started to wonder if Lily was blind. With how fast the news spread online, there was no way she didn't know Daniel was a cheating, infertile jerk. Daniel must have had some fluke to find such an excellent girlfriend. Seeing my silence, Daniel's lips curved into a sneer. What's wrong, Grace? Are you starting to feel inferior? I'm truly glad I divorced you, otherwise, I wouldn't have met such a wonderful girl like Lily. Lily wrapped her arm around Daniel's, smiling sweetly as she rested her head on his shoulder. Thank you, Grace. Daniel is so good to me, we're very happy. I almost burst out laughing. Daniel probably thought I was furious and jealous, right? In reality, I was practically bursting with laughter on the inside. This was either hopelessly romantic to a fault, or she had ulterior motives for Daniel. No normal girl would be interested in him. But what did that have to do with me? Respectfully wish them well. Anyway, I was planning to sue Daniel soon. We'd see if Lily still wanted to be by his side then. Grace, can I add you on WhatsApp? Lily tilted her head, looking at me with a sweet smile. I haven't been with Daniel for long, and I don't really know much about his hobbies or anything. As his ex-wife, Grace, you must know Daniel best, right? If I ever can't make up my mind about something, I can ask you, Grace. My mind was instantly filled with questions. Was stupid? Or had studying ruined her brain? Did she feel insecure and want to add me, her ex-wife, just to provoke me now and then, to gain some sense of presence? Honestly, I became very interested in this graduate student from a top university. Sure, add me. Just as I expected, Lily occasionally sent me intimate photos of her and Daniel. Daniel L. So used her phone to send me a voice message. Look, my Lily's family has multiple houses and several cars. Grace, feeling inferior now, huh? Ha 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 ha, let me tell you, don't bother me anymore in the future. Lily is the only one in my heart. Ugh, truly sickening. I showed these messages to Liam. He didn't react much, but instead looked at me with a half smile. I touched my nose, confused. About half a month later, Daniel came to see me in person. Well, if it isn't Grace. How have you been doing lately? Daniel was wearing what looked like a very expensive suit, puffing out his chest and holding his head high, acting smug. Daniel tugged at his tie, lifting his chin and raising his head proudly. Grace, I came here to give you an invitation. You're welcome to attend Lily and my wedding. Oh? I slammed the invitation onto the ground with a smack and then forcefully shut the door. Get lost, stay away from me, you psycho. Go get married if you want, but don't try to disgust me. Even a dog in a suit is still a dog. But it didn't matter, I was about to sue him anyway. Daniel's wedding never happened. A few days before the wedding, Lily ran off. Daniel called Lily, sent her WhatsApp messages, and even went to the police station to report her missing. After hearing the police's response, Daniel was dumbfounded. There was no such person as Lily in this world. Daniel returned home blankly, as if his soul had left him. He frantically called Lily, but the number had already been disconnected. He then went everywhere asking for news about Lily, even rushing to a university. A university confirmed that there was indeed no such person as Lily. Overnight, the wife he thought he had was gone, and he felt like a complete joke. Daniel looked as if he had aged 10 years overnight. Let's rewind to 1 month prior. My cousin, Jade, whom I hadn't contacted in years, appeared before me. Alright, cousin, what's up? If you're here to help them pressure me into marriage, then there's no thing to discuss. My cousin, Jade, was 24 this year, but she was a total wild child. She dropped out of junior high to work in a factory, and later simply went into nightclub work. But fortunately, Jade was pretty and had good connections, so asking her for help with something was perfect. Jade lit a cigarette, took a deep drag, and raised an eyebrow at me, blowing a stream of smoke right into my nose. I waved my hand, slightly resigned, and said, "Stop messing around. You've seen the news online recently, right? That online, she was Daniel's other woman. Daniel is no good either. He photoshopped my face onto indecent photos. So, do your cousin a favor, and I can pay you for it." My cousin burst out laughing after hearing my plan. She put out her cigarette, snapped her fingers at me, and said, "Interesting. Then cousin, just wait and see." That's right, Lily was my cousin. Her real name wasn't Lily either. As for why she was able to get away completely clean, it was probably because she had someone protecting her. She'd been in that scene for so many years, how could she not have connections? But that had nothing to do with me anymore. That day after work, Daniel actually came to my company to find me again. "Grace, I'm sorry, let's get back together." Lily ran off. With so many people watching in the company lobby, Daniel started throwing a fit, making me both embarrassed and annoyed. "Grace, let's remarry, please remarry. I promise I'll truly treat you well from now on, Grace." I forcefully pushed him away, then impatiently pulled out my phone and showed Daniel my chat logs with my lawyer. "I'm telling you, we're never getting back together in this lifetime. Just wait at home for your lawsuit papers." Daniel froze. He was clearly provoked, his face turned ashen, and he left without a word, gritting his teeth and scowling. I thought Daniel would behave, or perhaps bring Martha to beg me not to sue, but I was wrong. I underestimated Daniel's shamelessness. As I walked home after dinner that night, I kept feeling like someone was following me, but when I turned around, there was no one there. I immediately felt chills down my spine and quickened my pace. As I passed an alleyway, my mouth was suddenly clamped shut by someone. The person choked my neck, covered my mouth, and dragged me into the alleyway. My eyes suddenly widened, and I struggled violently, but his strength was too immense. I couldn't break free at all. The person dragged me further into the alleyway. I struggled to reach my phone in my pocket and pressed the power button 5 times in quick succession. Emergency call. Immediately after, my phone was also thrown away by the person. At that critical moment, I suddenly remembered something. "Daniel." The person on top of me froze. Taking advantage of his pause, I pulled out a knife from my bag and plunged it deep into Daniel's stomach, then kicked him away. I picked up my phone and quickly ran out of the alleyway to call the police. I sat in the police station, draped in Liam's jacket. Meanwhile, Daniel was firmly restrained by the police, only able to stare at me resentfully. Daniel thought that if he just kidnapped me, I would willingly remarry him. He even planned to threaten my family. What a strange idea. Later, my lawsuit against Daniel went surprisingly smoothly, and I ultimately won. Daniel was ordered to compensate me 200,000 yuan, but he didn't have that much money, and coupled with his affair, the court directly awarded me his family home. Additionally, for his other crimes, Daniel was sentenced to 5 years and sent to prison. While was serving his sentence, his ex-mother-in-law Martha passed away from an illness. 5 years later, upon his release, Daniel found out his elderly mother had died. Coupled with being penniless, he was completely despondent and decided to go to the afterlife to join her. It was at this time that Ivy suddenly appeared, like a ray of light. Ivy was wearing a beautiful fur coat, walking on 10-centimeter high heels, a cigarette held between her fingers. She leaned against the overpass railing, puffing on a cigarette. "Have you thought about it? Will you work for me? Daniel, we almost got married back then, after all. I can't bear to see you so fallen now." Looking at Ivy, Daniel's heart hammered, and he was filled with intense internal conflict. It turned out that over the years, a desperate Ivy had been doing special live streams, usually just keeping company with wealthy men. These men were rich and powerful, and many had some strange fetishes. They could throw tens of thousands of dollars at Ivy in a single night, but now had no choice. He could only automatically ignore the scars on Ivy's arms. Daniel no longer hesitated. Gritting his teeth, he agreed immediately. "All right, I'm in." Could a woman as selfish as Ivy, sitting on such a lucrative gig, possibly introduce it to Daniel, who she had a grudge against? She only did this to get revenge for Daniel's cruelty years ago. Daniel was still too naive. He thought that as a man, he wouldn't be the one losing out. but he accidentally died from the torment. Grace, Daniel is dead. Liam pulled a blurred image of Daniel at the time of his death from his briefcase. I frowned, shoving the picture onto the ground. That's disgusting, don't show it to me, take it away. Liam chuckled softly. I suddenly looked at him suspiciously, my eyes full of doubt. Tell me, Liam, that job Ivy and Daniel took, you didn't set that up, did you? Hearing that, Liam blinked, looking completely innocent. No, no. I do legitimate business. I scoffed, not believing him. Judging by his expression, he was 100% responsible. But he did a good job, I was very satisfied. Grace, would you consider marrying me? If we're together, we can eat every meal together from now on. Liam sat beside me, propping his chin on his hand, looking at me with bright eyes. I rolled my eyes playfully and gave a cunning smile. I'll have to think about it. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.